Warriors are now Blitzcrank, or Pudge if you played Dota 2. You can pull someone to you with the new move, Meat Hook. Let's pretend you don't know what I mean. Warriors have this ability now. Yes, let's read that. Throw out a hook to immobilize your target and bring them to you. It costs 15 rage, has a 30-yard range, and a 35-second cooldown. It cannot be used on enemies that are 2 levels above you or that are boss level. That sounds great, but did you know they kind of buffed Recklessness too? Yeah, it's a dumb change. Just look here. Recklessness now has a 5-minute CD. It also only gives you a 50% bonus chance to crit instead of 100%. Here's the thing though, your crit cap is 94% if you only include dodge chance for your attack table calculations. If you can get a 44% chance to crit, you'll still crit every single hit while recklessness is up. Read up on the attack table if the mechanics of that interest you. Anyways, many warriors in classic era have over 44% crit chance, so I think this isn't much of a nerf. It's basically a buff. But my favorite change isn't this, it's the removal of Consumed by Rage as we know it. Now it's just to count as an enrage effect, so you're free to take a different and more fun rune. I honestly hated how Consumed by Rage meant you really needed to start every single boss fight with a lot of rage, or you would just suck. I'm happy to see it gone. Here are the new warrior runes. There are 3 of them, and they're all on the cloak spot. We have Fresh Meat, Sudden Death, and Shockwave. You already know what Shockwave does. What does Sudden Death do? It makes it so that way you can spam 10 rage executes as much as you want. What does Fresh Meat do? It makes it so that way you deal 10% increased damage for 12 seconds after bloodthirsting a mob for the first time you're in combat with it. Subsequent hits of Bloodthirst only have a 10% chance of activating this effect. So you may want to Bloodthirst ads on a fight to proc this, but who knows. Now let's talk about the nerfs. Single-Minded Fury and Flagellation both got hammered. Single-Minded Fury now gives you 15% increased movement speed up from 10% and reduces the threat you generate by 10%. However, it now gives no damage bonus, so you're going to do 10% less DPS as dual wield. And Flagellation has been redesigned. Now it causes the rage you gain from physical damage taken to be counted as if you had no armor on at all. Most warriors have 50% reduced physical taken from their armor, so this basically means that Flagellation will now double the amount of rage you get from being hit. It sucks. Other than that, these are the rest of the warrior changes. I took one of them out because it's actually not just warriors, it's all tank classes. Tanking classes now gain additional damage from the defense skill. I think it's going to vary class by class. They left it really vague. You could go check it out on the PTR. Now, as for other changes to warrior, they've made it so the Blood Frenzy rune works differently. You can check that. It's the second bullet point under other adjustments. They've also put changes into many other runes like Rampage, which is the 4th one. Glad Stance now isn't really meant to be a tanking stance. It's going to make it so you get a 30% reduction in threat instead of the 10 that it had before. And then they moved around some of the talent effects also. But generally, I would say that Warrior has had its damage reduced a little bit. But as long as it's still competitive, I think the playstyle is likely going to be more fun than ever. That Fresh Meat move, the Blitzcrank hook type thing, that's going to be... Honestly, I think they'll probably have to nerf it in PvP, because could you imagine if somebody could just pull you into the middle of your whole team on, like, Alterac Valley? I don't think it's going to be that fun of gameplay-wise for non-warriors, but you, as a warrior, will probably get to have a fucking blast with some of these changes for at least a little bit.